Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Valiant Endeavor. This is episode 9, and tonight we are delving into the world of Nareus and the Chronicles of the Southern Coalition. This is adventure number 6. When we had last left our intrepid adventurers, they had just come back from a delve in the Torian Hills, and they discovered some very interesting things. One, they found a leather book that was locked. It had a binding across it that would not let it be unlocked at that point in the adventure. But the book was found in some old clothes, some old moldy, rusty clothes, or rusty lockbox. But the clothes that were inside were decrepit. But everything else inside the box was unusable. But the book itself seemed to be untouched by time. But they didn't have time to. They didn't have any chance to look at the book yet. They also found a stone circlet or stone crown that was slightly magical, and they didn't have, also while they were in the middle of the dungeon, they didn't have a chance to look into it, so they brought it back. Once they got done with the delve, they came back to Hearthhold, and they spent the evening there. While in Hearthhold, they decided to get some rest, but they were also attempting to look into the book and to the stone crown, and they figured they would be able to take it back either to the larger town R or to Uruk and see if they could locate or figure out what these things were, what artifacts were, or if they had any meaning. They didn't have enough time to look into it, like I said, but so they came back to Hearthhold. They spent the evening, and like I said, they were looking over their stuff that they had found. And early in the morning, a scout from Hearthhold came looking for them. He was very agitated, and he was looked like he was very excited. And he said that they have found what they believe to be the cavern where the Kiltar are held up, or the Kiltar raiders that they were chasing after originally, while they came to the Torian Hills in the first place. So hastily they got ready and they headed out with the scout towards the Torian Hills very early in the morning. They decided to leave the equipment that the goods they had found locked up in the guest chamber that they were sleeping in, so that way they weren't carrying any extra weight that they didn't need to carry. So they headed out to Torian Hills. The scout, along with a few other members of the scouts hunting party, helped them track a spot where they believe the cavern where the Kiltar raiders were hiding. By the look of the grounds around the cavern entrance and inside very close to the front of the cavern, it looked like it was very well traversed and used recently. Jaren had done some looking through it, and also the scouts. They're all very talented in looking at this stuff. They all realize that this has been this cavern entrance had been used extremely recently, like in the last couple of days. So the scouts said that they would maintain a presence out in front to make sure that the adventurers were not, attacked from behind. But they basically stilled themselves, and they decided to go deeper into the cavern to see what they could find. So we will jump into what they find. So the first part of the cavern was naturally carved, like they've seen before in the other caves that they've delved into. And they took about 10 minutes to go through carefully. Obviously, the natural caverns would grow and shrink, and the smallest they could get through was like a 3-foot wide, 4-foot wide passage to 10-foot wide. But these were all natural occurring caverns. But about 10 minutes in, through the walkway, they came across a stone staircase. And Thorum says this looks like it was carved by dwarves, but it also looks like it had some other artisans working on it past that. So they decide to, this is where they think that they may find the Kiltar raiders. So before they actually enter the cave, I'll put that back. Jaren says, let me take a look and see if I can track something, if I can figure this out, if they have been down here. They didn't see anything as they moved through the natural caverns as much. It looks like that there was enough wind and the passage of time did not leave a lot of dust, so he couldn't find any tracks. But down here, it looks like it's a little less disturbed by wind or even the weather. So he's going to take a look. So he has, for tracking, uses wisdom. So he is trained in wisdom. So he gets a 12 base. He also gets a +2 bonus versus humanoids and giants, and I'm going to use that. I'll add that to it if it matters, because if what he is tracking is a humanoid or giant, he'll get that bonus. So it's going to be, his base number is 12. He'll need, I'm going to say a +4, 16. So he needs a 16. So he's +2 on wisdom and +2 for his level. So he's +4 to this roll. And if it's a humanoid, oh, he rolled a 17. So definitely, he says, yeah, this area has been traveled and used very recently. So they all get their weapons ready. They get their, they all start to kind of consider, what they're going to use in combat. They know they're going to probably find some because they're hunting these hobgoblins and Kiltar raiders that attacked the farmstead. So they move in and they get down to here and they come to a T. Now Alindra cast light on a pendant she wears so they can see what they're carrying. They don't have to use torchlight, but they can use the light spell she has. So they decide to go left. And as they go left, they come across what looks like a barricade. And across the barricade, as they're walking up to it, a head pops up. And it looks very much like what you'd expect a hobgoblin to look like. And it starts to yell out in some form of goblin-esque. I'm assuming they speak goblin. And fortunately, who speaks goblin in the group? Well, only Alindra. It starts to yell, stand back. In goblin-esque, it starts to scream at them, and Alindra translates for them, telling them that they're being warned to stay back. And then about 3 or 4 other heads pop up, and they look like they have a barricade that they're standing behind. And they gave them one warning, and now they're going to start fighting. So let us go to combat. And they're right back here. Put that on there. I'm going to say there's 4 hobgoblins. So we're going to roll for initiative. So in Castles and Crusades, which the base system we're using, initiative is based on D10s. So we'll just have this or ignore the 10 spot on this. So, ooh, she goes last. 7, 5, and 6. Okay. So the Jaren gets to respawn first. Before they start fighting, though, the creatures start to yell about, don't bring the creatures, don't bring the creatures. And that's all they hear as they start to fight. So Jaren notches an arrow and takes aim at the one that was talking originally. So his bow skill, since he's now 2nd level, is at a +5. I'm sorry, the bow is at +5, yes. He's using a composite longbow. So the armor class for a hobgoblin is base 15. I'm going to give him cover behind there. All right, so I'm going to give him a +4. I'll give it a +5 because they're pretty heavily covered up with the barricade. And this is all like barricades of like what you would think like doors and maybe tables and some chairs and stuff. And it looks hastily put together, but it's enough for them to give some pretty good cover from that direction. So Jaren shoots. Oh, he rolls a 1. Okay, well, he was taken back by having these hobgoblins show up, so he's going to have to either he'll have to restring his bow. It basically snapped the string, and so he's either going to have to restring it or just move forward and use his other weapons during the fight. So the hobgoblins go. They're going to shoot. They have some short bows. Okay. And I'm going to give them, they have their D10 hit dice. I'm going to give them 8 hit points each. There. All right. So they get +1 to this roll. I'm going to use 2 of them. We'll be fighting against Jaren because he's the one that shot at them first, or tried to. So that's a 2 and a 3 plus their level, or their hit dice, which is a 3 and 4, which is not even close to getting Jaren. 1 will go against Alindra. That's a 14 plus 1 is 15. That's not enough to hit her armor class. And 1 will go against Thorum. Ooh, that's an 18 plus 1 is 19. That's just enough to hit Thorum. Oh no. The short bow does D6. Does 1 point. Woo. Okay, well, at least he didn't take a lot of damage. I got lucky. His shield wasn't up right away. So now we go to Thorum. Well, he's not taking any of this, so he basically just readies his shield, readies his broadsword, and moves forward and busts through, or at least tries to swing over the top of the barricade. So I'm going to give him a little bit of cover. He rolls a 5, which is, and his bonus would not be enough to hit their armor class plus some cover from hitting over the top of the barricade. All right, well, these guys are doing not great. That's okay. That's the beginning of the combat. They're still rusty a little bit from getting some sleep and getting rushed out here. So Alindra will attempt to cast Sleep. She's going to put it far enough back. Well, no, actually, that she doesn't have enough room to put it there now that Thorm's moved forward, so she will not cast Sleep, but she will move forward. And she's going to throw a dagger. She'll throw her dagger at one of the hobgoblins, and she rolls a 3. So the dagger just hits the barricade and just sticks. All right, so we're back to round 2. Oops, I'm going to put the round marker. Round 2. All right. All right, so they are on 2, 6. Oh, Thorm's first. Oh, so is Alindra. Alindra's going to go before Thorm because she's got a better dex modifier. So Alindra, drawing her short sword, moves forward and tries to attack, try and distract them so that they can start swinging at them better. She rolls a 1, so she, as she's moving forward, she kind of trips a little bit. Doesn't drop her weapon, but she's going to be kind of out of the running for a few seconds, so she's done with activating. Thorum, seeing his friend trip, tries to distract him to keep from going after her, so he swings at him. Okay, that may hit. His bonus, that's 13 plus 4. Oh, no, he does hit. 14, no. That's a 17, yeah, plus 4, 17, and they have a plus 2 cover from being behind the barricade, just in melee. And their AC is base 15. Yep, he hits barely. All right, so he does 2d4 with his broadsword. It's the chosen sword of his deity Doru. So he does 2d4 plus 3. So he rolls a 4 and a 1, 5, plus 3 is 8. He lops one of the heads off of the guys real quick. So that's down to we're down to 3 hobgoblins. Excellent. Then Jaren, not wanting to take time to string his bow real quick, he just pulls his longsword out and moves forward and swings that one across the barricade. Now he rolls a natural 20, so he hits. So how I do natural 20s is that the base damage of the weapon, a d8, or the highest value of the die that he does, or value of dice, is added to a d4 plus any bonuses. So he's going to do 8 points plus a d4, which is 4, 12, plus his bonus damage, which is plus 3, so 15. He basically just obliterates this other one across the barricade. So there's 2 left. They're not looking very happy about this because they don't feel like they want to run. They can't keep looking back towards this direction of the dungeon. and they're kind of like almost like scared in that direction, and they're just like they don't know which way to go. They're stuck between the adventurers, and something back over there is bothering them. So they're going to swing one at Jaren. That's a 3 plus 1 is a 4, is a miss. And at Thorum, oh my gosh, Thorum's not having a good day today. So it's say a short sword is D6, so it's 6. Oh, 10. Ouch. So 10. Yeah, so it does 10 points. Ouch, he's down to 8. Ouch. Okay, well, that's not good. Make sure you can see the die. All right. All right, back up to the top. On for Nish. Oh, she goes first. That's good. Oh, they go before Thorm. Oh, no. But Jaren gets to go. All right, so here's the order. So, Alindra, attempting to retrieve her sword, she basically just leaves it on the ground. She pulls a dagger out and tries to attack one of the other 2 remaining hobgoblins to distract them. She rolls a 9, plus her bonus with the dagger is +1. Oh, because she gets bonus for her swords. Okay. So that's +1, so it's not going to hit. That's a 10, so that does not hit. Jaren also swings at one of the remaining hobgoblins. Rolls an 11. He has a +5 total. That's a 16. That's not enough to hit because there's a barricade between them. So, and then they get to go. Oh no. Swinging at Jaren. That's an 11. And I'm going to give them barricade bonus too. I forgot about that. But they rolled a 20 last time, so it doesn't matter. So that's an 11 plus, that's enough to hit Jaren, and it's going to attack Alindra. Oh no. Oh no, they hit a 20. That's not good for Alindra. Yeah. Well, it's going to do 6 plus a d4. 7. That's just enough to put her down to 0 hit points. Oh no. These guys are tough for first level creatures. All right, Thorum, seeing his friend fall, steps back a little bit and does a Cure Light Wound spell on her to keep her from... So he does 6 hit points. All right, that's good. So she is back to 6. I forgot to change her hit points. So she's laying down, but she's not passed out. She goes, oh. So now we're back up to turn 4. They got to stop these guys. This barricade's hurting them. All right, so she's 19. Okay. So she stands back up. And as she's standing up, she's grabbing her short sword that's still on the ground. And she decides to swing at them. And she doesn't hit. She rolls a 9. So it's not enough to hit. Thorum decides to swing at them. He rolls an 16. 16 plus his bonus to hit. That's enough to hit him. Good, good, good. All right, so he does 2d4 plus 3. 7, 10. Excellent. So it kills one more. And the other one just is so nervous. It doesn't know what to do, but it just takes another swing as it starts to try and step back. And he'll take a swing at Jaren because, yeah. So that's a hit. It's a miss against any of them, so that's fine. And then Jaren goes. He hops over the barricade and is getting tired of this. Excuse me. Knock the camera a little bit. Gets a 14. Plus his bonus, a 5, 19. That's a hit. So he gets to do d8 plus 3. But since this is a humanoid, he gets plus 2 damage. He gets his level bonus in damage against humanoids. So he does 7. Plus his bonus of that. 3 plus is 5. So that's enough to kill him. So he basically jumps over the barricade and slashes down and just takes out the last of the, oops, it was turn 5, last of the hobgoblins. So they take a moment to regroup. He's already spent a spell. He cast a Cure Light Wounds on himself and gets 7. So he is back up to 15. So he's down to 1 spell left, and they haven't even gotten very far in the dungeon. But that's the way it goes sometimes. All right. So these guys are gone. So as they're over here searching through, they do find some 20 gold scattered throughout the 4 guys. They look like they were doing some gambling with some, cubes of chance. And but the thing they notice here is that there's this rocky barricade. Looks like some of it's natural, some of it looks like it's been stacked up. And but as they look past, they see that there's some bloody markings on the ground, and they decide to push forward a little bit. As they come to this door is actually broken on its hinges, and as they look through the door quietly, we'll have Alindra try a move silently. Oh, she's just not having a good night. She doesn't fail, but it doesn't get not enough to bonus through that. So she kind of moves up, but there's enough grit and dirt on the ground and some debris that she kicks it on, not knowing it. She's also kind of recovering from being almost killed from last fight. And as she moves up to the door, she looks in quickly, and inside there's some cadavers or leftover remnants. It looks like hobgoblins and bloody remains. But as she's looking through there, several creatures start running towards the door. These creatures look like this. They're called ogre rats. Ugly little suckers, aren't they? And it looks like this was a nest of ogre rats. And as they move forward, we're going to roll for initiative. This appears to be what the hobgoblins are worried about. It looks like some of their compatriots got eaten by these things, and they wanted to keep the... And so it looks like the actual barricade was mainly to keep these ogre rats from coming after them. So let's go for initiative. Oh boy. Well, we rolled good, but I'm going to let Alindra go first. She sees them running forward, and immediately she staggers back a little bit and casts a sleep spell. So these creatures are 3 hit dice. So I'm going to give them, they're D8 based, so I'm going to give them average 4.5, 9, I'm going to give them 14 hit points each. But they're 3 hit dice, so she casts her spell, and it does 2d4 worth of levels. And I'm going to say there are 3 of these creatures. No, 4. The number of repairing is 2d12, but that's too hard for them, so I'm going to say 4 creatures. So she rolls and gets 4 hit dice. So she actually makes one pass out as the others run forward. So they're fighting 3 right now. The length of time for sleep lasts for 1 minute, if not per level, if they don't get disturbed or they don't get woke up. So she puts 1 out, but the other 3 come running forward. And unfortunately, they go next. So I'm going to put 1 on each one. So they are plus. They have a bite. Okay, so they're going to be a little higher armor class initially at the beginning. So the first attack will go against Alindra, and she's up front. And oh, they barely miss. They rolled a 13. Their hit dice 3, so they're plus 3, so it's 16. Sheer armor class is 17. Barely missed her. On Jaren, rolls an 11, and plus 3 is 14. That misses his armor class of 18. And then on Thorum, rolls a 15, plus 3 is 18. His armor class is 19 with a shield raised. So they very fortunate. Thorum, since they're now engaged, Jaren can't use his bow. I don't assume he got time to string his bow while they were searching through over here. So his bow is strong, but he can't use it because they're too close. So he's just going to draw his longsword and go after the rat attacking him. Oh, he rolls a natural 20. That's the time to do it. So he's going to do, these aren't humanoids, so he doesn't get the bonus for that. But he has D8 plus 3. It's going to be D8 plus 3 plus 4. Well, he does 15 points of damage to this creature. He kills it with one shot. As it's running forward, it jumps at him, and as it's jumping at him, he swings his blade and lops the head off of the first ogre rat that comes at him. Excellent job. Thorum. So now there's only 2 that are attacking one that's been knocked asleep. Poor Thorum. He rolls a 1. So he's taken back. So he's pushed back enough, and he actually drops his broadsword as he's fighting these guys. So we go back to round 2. Okay, so 2. Oh, she's going first again. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to make Thorum. His dex, yeah, their dex is faster, so they're going to go before him. So she draws her short sword and goes after the rat attacking her. And she rolls a 12 plus her bonus plus 2, 14. That's enough to hit it. Excellent. So she does D6 plus 1. She does 3 plus 1 is 4. So it's down to 10 hit points. Excuse me. Drop the pin. So it's down to 10 hit points. And then Jaren goes. He steps forward, trying to help Thorum as looks like he's staggering back. When he rolls a 2, so he's going to miss. So we got 2 rats. One on Alindra. That's a 14 plus 3. Just hits her. Wasn't a critical though, but still. So the bite is 2d4. This could put her down though. This is not good. It does 8 points. So she actually falls and goes to -1. Oh no. And then the other one on Thorum. Yeah, that's a hit also. Man, these guys are jumping back and forth. So for only 3 points of damage, though. So he's at 12. Now he gets to go. So he's going to pick up his sword. And that is all he can do this turn. So I'm not going to roll for her. Well, she'll go last. Oh, looks like Thorum will too, so she's going to go last. So Jaren steps forward, trying to distract the one that was attacking Alindra. And that was, it's cocked. Okay. 9 plus 5 is 14. That's enough to hit it. He does D8 plus 3. So he does 5. So that's 5 hit points left on that one. And it gets to go. On Jaren, that's 11 plus 3 is 14. That's a miss. On Thorum, that's a 4 plus 3 is a 7. That's a miss. Good. Thorum reaches down. Thorum casts his last healing spell. Gets her 6 hit points. So she is at 6. That's his action. And then she gets up, so she's not laying down, but she's not going to be able to fight this turn just because she's recovering. So we're going to turn 4. He gets to go first. All right, so Jaren, fighting the one that attacked Alindra. A 10 plus his total of 5, 15. That's enough to hit. Does D8 plus 3. Yeah. 10 points. It was a 7. So it's enough to kill the one that actually took down Alindra. All right. Now it's the rat's turn. He's going to go against Thorm. Only one left. 5. That is not enough to hit Thorm. Thorm gets to go. He rolled a 15. Excellent. Enough to hit him. It's 2d4 plus 3. So it's a 3 and a 1. 4 plus 3 is 7. So it's got 7 hit points left. And Alindra gets to go. She swings it with her sword. Rolls a 10. Plus 2 is a 12. Sorry, that knocked over. Should be a 10. 12 is not enough to hit these creatures. And I'm going to say it's because she's still shaky from being knocked to the ground. Seriously injured. So we're going to go again. All right, Thorm. Looks like we all get to go before the rats. So Thorm will swing at the rat. 14 plus his bonus is enough to hit the rat. Does 2d4. He rolls good. And he doesn't. He rolls a 2. 1 and a 1 plus his bonus of 3 is going to be 5. So it's 2 hit points left. Did I do Jaren? I did the wrong number, but that's right. Jaren hits. And with his strength and enough to swing. So he kills the rat straight out. Excellent. So they're both like, oh, their wounds. They've taken a lot of fighting and they've used a lot of spells, resources, and stuff to stay alive in this fight. So they decide to take a moment to break, and they're going to search through the remains of this room real quick. So digging through the runes up here, the remains of the ogre rats don't really carry treasure, but they'll bring shinies back to their nest. And in this nest area, they find roughly about 200 gold and a dagger, which is magical, and a bag of gems. And we'll roll those later. We're going to move on. Good job. So now they realize what the hobgoblins were trying to protect against. Those things are nasty. Oh, and they dispatched the sleeping one. They don't even feel any remorse about that. They got rid of the sleeping one too because they know there's no way to have any conversation with it. They're an animal creature and they're vicious and dangerous. So they basically decide to head back. And they start talking to each other. They said, now, Thorn was out of spells. Alindra's down to 2 spells beyond cantrips, or orisons as they call for clerics. So they decide do they want to go back or they want to keep going? And I think they really just want to get this done with. They're angry, they're driven. They have some potions of Cure Light Wounds and a few other things that they've collected along the way. They can still make it through. They just don't have many spells left. So they just decide we're going to push through. So they draw the next card. And we're going to ignore that because they're going through and they notice that there is some fighting. It looks like some remains of fighting and some blood smears and some other things. But as they come around the corner here, pulling this card, they notice that there's another barricade, and it looks like there are some more hobgoblins there. And one of the hobgoblins rings a bell and then jumps out, and there's 4 hobgoblins. So great. They just warned whoever was down the passageway that There may be some more coming this way. They're not sure yet. So let's roll for initiative. 4 hobgoblins. All right. Well, Jaren will go before Thorum. So it looks like Alindra's up first. She draws her short sword. She already has it out. Oh, let me check for... I forgot she actually gets a chance to see if one of her spells comes back. It does not. Barely. It almost does. The spell she casts, she has a pendant of Illuma, which is the goddess of magic. And every time she casts a spell that spends a mana point, she has a chance to reduce the cost of the spell by 1 mana point, 15% chance, or 1 to 3 on a d20. But it didn't make it. She rolled a 4, but not enough. So she draws her short sword and goes towards one of the hobgoblins. And she rolls a 5. Not enough to hit the hobgoblins. Their AC is much higher than the ogre rats. So she needed 15 and it missed. They get to go. There's 4 of them. I'm going to put 2 on Thorum as he steps forward and tempts them to come towards him. 1 misses completely. They get a +1. 1 does hit Thorum. Yeah, his own AC is 19. He did 1 point of damage to him. So he's down to 11. 1 here. And the other on Jaren misses, and Alindra misses. Okay, good. They do not need to be hit. So Jaren, drawing his longsword again, since he's now up close with them, he swings and he rolls a natural 20, which is going to kill the hobgoblin even at full hit points. Does D8, so it does 8 points for the D8 plus a D4, which is going to be 3. It's 11 plus his strength bonus, which is 3, and +2 for being a ranger. So it's plenty enough to kill one of them. So they're down to 3 now. Good hit. And then Thorum gets to go. He rolls a 15, which with his bonus is enough to hit one of the other hobgoblins. So he does 2d8. They're going to say they have 8 hit points each. So it does 3, 4, plus 3 is 7. So not enough to kill it, but it puts it down to 1 hit point, which will make it consider its life choices as they go to round 2. All right. Okay, good. Well, Thorum goes last, but move him over here. I'm going to let Alindra, who has the highest dex. They both have the same, so I'm going to let Alindra go first. So Alindra swings her short sword at the one that was fighting, one of the ones that fighting Joran. She rolls a 10. I'm not Thorum, sorry, not Jaren. +2 is 12. That's not enough to hit him. Jaren steps forward. Oh, she's fighting the one that was on her, excuse me. And then, so he steps forward, rolls another 20. Wow. Well, that's enough to kill the one that was fighting Alindra. So that he's dead. So we're down to 2. Unfortunately, they're both on Thorum. And they both miss. One barely by 1. And then Thorum draws his blade, or swings, but he does miss with a +3, with an 8, or +4, the 12. That's not enough to hit. Round 3. So there's 2 hobgoblins left. They kind of are backed up in the corner over here. They did ring the bell. So will that bring more as they're fighting? Well, let's see. They can't finish them off quickly. It might be worse. All right. So I'm going to let Jaren go first. He swings at one of them. An 18. Wow, he's on fire tonight. 18 plus his bonus is enough to hit. So he does 2d8. He has d8. He rolls a 5 plus his normal bonus plus his ranger bonus, which is it's called Combat Marauder. +2, 5. So he does 10 points, which kills one of them, which is good. So we only have one left fighting Thorum. He rolls a 9, plus his bonus is not enough to hit. Thorum swings at him, rolls a 17, and his bonus, which is enough to hit, the armor class 15. This one is full health, though. Not anymore. He just rolled a 7, plus his bonus of 3 is 10, which is enough to kill the last one. Oh yeah, so we're done. So wow, they took him out pretty quickly, but not enough for them to stop ringing that bell. So what does that mean? Taking a quick inventory of the goblins, they notice that they have about 20 gold each, or 20 gold total. Looks like they were also doing something to maintain not falling asleep, and that was a little bit of gambling. Takes them a few minutes to clear out the debris. And Alindra is staying vigilant while watching the both directions. She's right here while the other ones clear the path. And so they decide to move forward. And they go to here. So as they're moving forward, she actually had a chance to spot hidden doors. And I don't think anybody else has that ability. No. So she does have one chance. I'm going to let her see if roll. It's wisdom, which is not very good for her, but I'm just going to roll and see if she gets a high number. No, she rolls a 5, so not even close enough to get to notice that this thing. But they do come up to these statues, and Alindra says, wait a second, this is kind of weird. I mean, what was the bell ringing for? So she tries to spot traps, and it is intelligence-based. I'm going to give her a chance to try it. She rolls good. That may be pretty close, since her traps are intelligence-based, and her intelligence is one of her skills, or one of her chosen attributes. So it's a 12. I'm going to make it a 17. She gets +2. She gets 17. She does notice. She goes, wait a second, guys. Hold on. There's something wrong here. And she starts to look around, and she notices that there's a pressure plate that they almost stepped on that may have triggered a trap. So can she disable it? She's going to attempt to try it. She rolls a natural 20. I'm going to give it to her. She basically says, oh, let me see if I can get down there. She gets down there with some of her lock picks and starts to work on the pressure plate, and it clicks, and it looks like she's locked it into a safe position. So let me see if I can turn there we are, so you can see that a little bit better. So they basically can pass through here without any kind of damage, and she thinks she has locked it down for good until it gets reactivated. So they go over to here, and they come up to some double doors, and they first listen at the door. She can do it. She has to listen. She's not very... No, she doesn't hear anything, but she can check to see if the doors are locked. I'm going to give them all a chance to listen, but the other ones are not going to have a very good chance. It has to be rolling really good. Oh, wow. Thorum. I rolled a 1 for Jaren and 20 for Thorum. I'm going to give... Thorum says, let me listen. He steps up there and he pulls his helmet off, puts his ear up to the door and says... And he goes, yeah, I think I smell hobgoblin and I think I hear them talking. And so they step back and get quiet. And they're both looking at him going, why are you talking so loud? He's like, ah. So, now that they know maybe something's in there, Alindra says, the door's locked. Do you want me to try to unlock it? So, yes. They both agree, and they both kind of step back a little bit. They all step back a little bit. Jaren pulls his bow, gets an arrow knocked. Thorum gets his... he has some throwing light hammers, so he pulls one out. And as she goes to unlock the door, she rolls a 16. So, unlocking a door, open lock is dex based, which is 12 for her. 17, well, she's basically, she basically goes click and it says, yeah, I'm on fire tonight, huh, guys? And they're like, yeah. but she is. She's rocking it with the pick lock, open locks and defeat traps and everything. So they basically say, "What do you want to do?" So after the extremely deft unlocking of the door, they all look at each other and they are prepared to see what they see. Alindra barely opens the door, and inside looks like she sees a table, some chests, and around the table appears to be some hobgoblins and some big hobgoblin they've never seen before, but he's the biggest hobgoblin they've ever seen, even bigger than the creature they fought at the farmstead. So they all look at each other, and they all nod their heads, and they just bust the doors in and say, "Stop what you're doing and lay down your arms. You're under arrest." They don't know what they're talking about. They don't even have the power to arrest him, but they know they're after him. So the big creature stands up, the big hobgoblin stands up and laughs at them and says, "Ha ha, you were the ones following us, haven't you? I saw you at the farmstead. Now you will die." And he speaks really good common. So they start the combat. So he is a 4-hit dice creature. I'm going to give him 24 hit points. The other ones are standard hobgoblins. I'm going to give them 8 each. And there's 4 of them. Looks like he had to spread out his troops around the area to keep the ones that they fought earlier, where it looks like that's where they thinned them out. So there's not many creatures here. But that big guy's going to be tough. All right. Wow. I'm going to roll a separate one for him. So that one is for the normal guys, and this red one will be for, so he's going first. But Jaren gets to react first. I'm going to give the jump on for Jaren because they jumped in. So he's going to shoot at the big guy. So he steps in. Rolls a 19. Excellent job. So this guy, I'm going to give him an armor class of 17. And he's 4-hit dice. So it does hit him, though. That's a great shot. So this does D8 plus his combat marauder bonus, which is +2. So it's going to do 5 plus 7. Good start. He shoots him for 7 points. That brings him to 17. Excellent. Good job, Jaren. All right, so the big guy goes. He has a big crossbow, and he pulls it up, and he says, "Ha, puny human. My turn now," and just shoots the crossbow at Jaren. Rolls a 16. That may hit. Plus his 4 is 20. It does hit his armor class. So it's a huge crossbow. I'm going to give it a D10 damage. It's almost ballista size. 8 points. Oh, it just pierces one of his arms. So he's down to 15. He starts at 23. Lost 8. Ah, that hurt. But it's going to take a while to reload that, so he's not going to get a chance to use it this much in this combat. And then the little goblins go, or the hobgoblins. They all move forward, swinging at Jaren. That is a miss on him. I'm going to put 2 on Thorum. Yeah. Both miss, and 1 on Alindra. 14 plus that. Nope, that's a miss. So good. Fortunately, they were not hurt. So now Alindra will attack the one that's come up to her. Rolls a 12, plus her bonus of +2 is a 14. Not enough to hit the hobgoblin of AC 15, excuse me. Yes, 15. Thorum swings at one of the ones that are coming after him. Rolls a 19. Excellent. We need that. That's enough to hit, because her armor class is 15. All his bonuses. Does 4 and 4 is 8, plus 3 is... So it's enough to knock one of them dead. When he just swings at it and guts it. So now we're back up to turn 2. Round 2. All right, got all the... Get this out of the way. They're in here. Put these guys in here. Fighting. All right. Man. He really wants to go first. I'm going to let Alindra go before they do, because she's faster. All right. He gets to go first. He drops the crossbow, picks up a big battle axe, and moves towards Jaren. Oh, hits him again. Ah, this guy's didn't crit, though. Does 6 points plus his damage. I'll give him +2. 8. Ooh, he's down to 7 hit points. Ah. Well, Jaren gets to go. He returns in kind with his blade and rolls an 18. Oh, man. These guys are throwing it down. All right. He does D8. Of course, I roll a 1. Plus his strength plus his marauder. So that's a total of 6 points. Well, that's all right. Better than nothing. Down to 11 on the big guy. Put him over here. Thorum goes, swinging at the one in front of him. 16. Excellent. Can he kill this last one here? So they can all gang up on the big guy. Nope. Roll 2 1s. So he does 4 points. Oh, 5. So it's down to 3. I shouldn't have said anything. And then Alindra goes. Does she swing? She doesn't roll. She's still kind of shaky from being knocked unconscious. But she was rolling great for her skill checks. So now the hobgoblins go. First one on Thorum, 15. Plus 16 is not a hit. And then on 8 plus 1 is 9. Not enough to hit Alindra. Yes, we're down to 2 of those guys. Yep, that's it. Yep, so we're back up to initiative again. See if we can get... Maybe the bad guy won't go. Maybe the big guy won't go first. Ugh. He is just wanting to go first every time. Oh my gosh. That's kind of awesome, though, in the storytelling sense, though. He's just brutal. So he swings at Jaren. Fortunately, Jaren has his number. He rolls a 4 plus his bonus of 8 and plus 4. So he does miss. Jaren goes. Says, ha-ha. Swings at him. 11 plus his bonus is 16. But I say his armor class was 17. Missed by 1. Oh, dang it. Alindra swings at the one in front of her. She's got a defender. Oh, she cannot hit. Poor girl. She's tired. So the one on her rolls a 6 plus 1 is a 7. That's a miss. One on Thorum rolls the same thing, misses him. So Thorum goes. Swinging at the one. That's enough to... Yep, that's enough to hit. Barely. Rolls a 15 all total. So can he... I think he's got enough to kill it then. 3, yes. Yeah, so he does that. So there's... Now we got 2 down. I think I missed one. Yeah, okay, we're good. So he has... Oh, one was on Jaren, and he was fighting the bad guy. So it's got to go a swing against him. I'll swing one against Jaren. And it does miss. I forgot there was one more on him. So we're back up to 4. So you have 2 regular hobgoblins. Oh my gosh, he's rolled 20 every time. We'll let Jaren go first, though. That's amazing. Thorum, well, at least they get to go first. Okay, so Jaren swings at the big baddie. 15 plus his bonus of 5, 20. It's enough to hit. He does D8. Come on, roll good. 6 plus 3 is 9. Plus 2 from Marauder is enough just to bring the big baddie down at 11. He drops barely, so he is out of the combat. Good, because he was close. Thorum swings at the one on Jaren. Rolls a 6 and misses. Alindra, getting tired of this, casts Magic Missile at one of them. And does 5 points. Good roll. The one attacking her has got 3 hit points left. Does she get the spell back? Oh, she rolled a 4. Not enough to get it back. Needed a 3 or less. But that's all right. Now they get to go 3 on her, plus their bonus is a 4. That's a miss. And then the one on Thorm, it jumps over to Thorm now that he's attacking it. And it rolled a 2. That's a total miss. So now we're back to round 5. Excuse me. All right, so now 9, 8, 7. Excellent. So Jaren swings at the one that was attacking him. And he rolls a 3, so he misses. He's worn out and beat up from all the wounds he's taken. Thorm misses too. You know what? She's not going to do that. She's going to do her last spell. It may be enough to kill it. It's only got a few points. Yes, this magic missile hit and did just enough to kill it. Does she get the spell back? No. Okay. There's one dude left. One hobgoblin. He's going to go against Thorum. Rolls a 5 plus 1. Starting to be pretty desperate, but see if we can take him out. Jaren is going last because he's starting to hurt, I think. The hobgoblin decides to try to make a retreat through the doors. Starts to run off. I'm going to give each one. I'm going to give Thorum. She was not near it, so she will react last. Thorum will get a swing. He rolls a 1, and he actually drops his sword because of that. And Jaren rolls a 4, so no. But she will get to react. But she moves forward, takes a dagger out, and throws it at him. And does not hit. Oh boy. So now we're on our chase now. So he's moving down the hallway. He's right about here, and they're there. Doors are open because they kicked them open. So can they get to go first? Well, he's running at 1. Maybe they have a chance to get him. What is Jaren? Okay, so they're going to go. So Jaren moves forward a little bit, drawing his bow. Well, he had it in his other hand, so he draws an arrow. Shoots at the guy. Rolls a 16. Which is and he gets plus 5 for that, so it's 21. That's definitely a hit. The compass along but is D8 plus his combat marauder. 4 plus 2 is a 6. Down to 2 hit points. Good hit though. Thorum pulls one of his hammers out. It's going to be somewhat of a penalty. Oh no, he can't hit. He fumbles the hammer of that one too. Alindra throws her dagger at the guy and does hit with 16. The dagger thrown, but even at the penalty of range. She rolled a 20. Yep, that's definitely -2 for that, so that's a hit. So she does D4 plus 1, so it should be enough. Does 5 points with a thrown dagger and hits him in the back of the neck, and he falls over. So they've actually defeated the Kiltar raiding party. And as they look at each other, they're worn out, they're bloody. You know, they've had a big fight. And they decide to take a moment to rest, get cleaned up a little bit. And as they search through, they actually notice over there in the chest that there's some remnants of the food that was stolen from the farmstead. And they actually dig through. They find a large crossbow. That's the one that the guy was using. And it's in good shape, and it is magical. It may not be useful for any of them because I don't think they can even wield it, but they can bring it back to the base. Maybe they can use it. And they find 200 gold and some food, and but they really weren't after this for the treasure. They were after this for bringing vengeance to these who attacked the farmstead, the peaceful farmstead. So after a few moments of rest and searching, they decide to head back to Hearthhold. They come out of the cave. The scouts are there. They notice that they're pretty beat up, but they help them carry the stuff back to Hearthhold. And as they get there, they decide to take a break and rest for a day or two while they can go through the stuff that they have found. So they have made it back. They finally defeated the Kiltar raiders, and maybe they can find some more stuff about the Kiltar later. They didn't find any correspondence or anything on the creatures they fought, but at least they have taken apart the raiders who attacked the farmstead. So at this point, our adventurers will take a break for a few days at Hearthhold, and then they will probably attempt to travel back to Uruk, or maybe into Ar, to do some deeper investigation into the book and into the crown that they found. So at this point, I'm going to say that's a great run through, and I will thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you next time. We'll have some more information for what they found, and we'll continue the story. Thanks for watching, and appreciate any feedback. Take care. Bye-bye.